The first reference to the Cadhay estate is in the reign of Edward I, with the present house being built around 1550. The surrounding parkland with its majestic trees and views over the glorious East Devon countryside provide the idyllic setting for this fine house. I'm in the herbaceous border looking at a fantastic display of planting that was created by Dave, the head gardener. And once again it highlights the use of planting within an ancient setting. And Dave used his plant knowledge and skill of design and use of plants to create this wonderful billowing effect that we now see. The original planting was done by one of the previous owners, and Dave's modified that, and this ancient site is now providing a wonderful backdrop to some very spectacular planting schemes. This is one of the two stew ponds that were created back in the Elizabethan times, and in those early days they formed an integral part of the whole food production. The ponds were stocked with fish that of course provided fresh meat for the table and for cooking and processing in the kitchens. Today they form a wonderful tranquil setting, not only for the wildlife and the ducks that we see, but of course they're home to this collection of water lilies that provide colour in early summer. All gardens of whatever size and shape change over time, and here at Cadhay it's no exception. We talked about the stew ponds, original Elizabethan, and behind me this area changed because prior to 1910 this area contained coach houses and cottages, and as we see today the owners at that point decided to do away with those buildings and create a lawn that swept down towards the pond. To emphasise the formality, they introduced these wonderful yew plantings. This delightful pond garden may be on a smaller scale, but it fits in so well with the rest of the garden. The small stone building offers the visitor a cool retreat on a hot summer's day. We're now in the walled garden, and to me this is one of the most important parts of the estate. It used to be the powerhouse, and back in the ancient times and probably up until the war, this area provided the food for the kitchens and the whole family. And that food was provided all year round with a host of gardeners. Today at Cadhay, times have changed, as with all the walled gardens around the whole country. It's changed in as much as it's now been used by far more people. And we're going to have a look round and we'll see the new allotments, but also within these ancient walls we'll still see some of those ancient things. Hello Alison, here's the wheelbarrow you were wanting. Gosh, the soil's drying out, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
quite nice to be able to do some proper hoeing.
absolutely. These weeds will dry out pretty quickly, won't they?
Yeah.
If this weather keeps up, we need some irrigation on it.
Good. Well,
Yeah.
possibly.
Still moist down below though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
very good. See you soon. I feel this old walled garden is steeped in the history of the people who have worked here previously. Keeping an eye on growing crops will help spot any attacks from pests or diseases, and hopefully reduce possible losses and the need not to use chemical treatments. Wherever you walk in these gardens, the air is filled with the sight and sounds of flying insects. These trained plum trees are a testament to the skills of the unknown gardeners from the past, while the gardeners of the present continue working the soil and harvesting their crops within these old walls. A long-held tradition at many big houses was that the garden staff would grow and arrange the flowers for the indoor displays. Here at Cadhay, Alison is keeping that tradition going by gathering flowers from the cutting beds, loading them up and taking them to the house for the floral decorations. These are for a wedding taking place here tomorrow. I always enjoy seeing inside other people's tool sheds, especially one as old as this, as it has such a long history attached to it. I wonder who all the gardeners were who have come in here and worked these tools over such a long period of time. Let's explore the rest of the garden. These yews were planted in the area where the old buildings were located, and they add formality to this part of the garden. The garden has been cared for by different owners and many different gardeners over the years. It is their skills and their energy that have created what we see here today. The old garden store has been transformed into a tea room, and of course the film crew insisted on refreshments before we leave. Cadhay is an inspirational garden, and it brings to mind the first verse of that great poem by Rudyard Kipling, The Glory of the Garden. England is a garden that is full of stately views, of borders, beds and shrubberies, and lawns and avenues, with statues on the terrace and peacocks strutting by, but the glory of the garden lies in more than meets the eye. And the glory of the garden, it shall never pass away. We've had a wonderful day here at Cadhay Garden. The early morning mist cleared away and the sun is now streaming down on these glorious gardens. And we're off to make way for the visitors that are now coming in.